Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, a.k.a. Red Onion Randy. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery. Now, and finally, at a level 3, Buckingham Correctional Center. Stone's throw from where I grew up. If you have any questions or comments or want to leave a message or whatever, I've got a voicemail line. That number is 1-888-524-1932. You can also visit my website, which is new and improved and got different features and whatnot, at www.redonionrandy.com. I hope you do. Let's get started with the podcast. Well, this podcast right here is taking year after year after year after year after year. I have been fighting to get transferred out of the Western region for years. I have been fighting to get transferred to a lower level prison, medium security, for years. Finally, I record this podcast from Buckingham Correctional Center. Finally got transferred. And it is awesome. You know, still sucks because I'm without my property. I got to wait for that to get mailed to me and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, it's boring as hell without my tablet and, you know, my TV and my books and my studies and, you know, all the things I do. But it's good. You know, I've got my single cell. Thankfully, Gay Gardner was able to facilitate that and make sure that they, you know, keep me out of a situation that's going to potentially be explosive. But man, it's been a long-ass time. But anyway, I'm just going to simply kind of run you through the transfer down here and so on and so forth. They came on Tuesday, I believe, what was it, April 14th, I think, if I remember correctly, 2025, and Mr. G, he came over. I saw him when he come in the pod, and he looked at me, and he had this eating grin on his face, and like I knew finally, because I had been screwed. I'd been previously approved to get transferred, but then my transfer got denied, and I was placed under an open investigation because supposedly someone had called headquarters in Richmond and told them that I was selling artwork online. I don't draw. I wish I could draw. I have the ability to do it. I just never had the patience or the wherewithal to actually sit down and train myself in drawing. You know, so I have no artwork up. I know there's a couple of tattoo things that was posted on my website years ago, but that had to do with the tattoo episode, just to kind of give people a little glimpse of what some prison tats look like. So I had to deal with that. You know, first of all, even if I was selling artwork online, that's not illegal. As long as I'm not drawing a picture of myself committing crimes, you know, robbing a store, murdering someone, you know, something along those lines. If I'm just drawing regular artwork, I'm allowed to sell that online, and there's not a damn thing the state can do about it. But it gave them an opportunity. It gave them the hope, I guess you could say, that they could deny my transfer and keep me in the Western region. hell, maybe even send me back up to Red Onion or Wallens Ridge from Keene Mountain, which, you know, it did seem like they was trying to do that. But thankfully, I was able to sit there and prove beyond a doubt that I'm not selling artwork online. I never have sold artwork online. I have no intention of doing it. So then I had to go back and get ICA'd again, put back in for a transfer, and then I got bumped to the bottom of the list. So instead of putting me back up at the top of the list where I originally was when you canceled it, you made me wait all over again. But it is what it is. Screw it. I'm here now. So when Mr. G came, like, I was so freaking, I was happy. I was excited. You know, I went right back in the cell and immediately started packing stuff up. It didn't take me too long because I actually left not a lot of stuff, but I did leave a significant amount there. You know, some extra books. I had a bunch of, like, ramen noodles and whatnot. It just, quite frankly, there was no point in paying to ship the ramen noodles, and it's just cheaper to buy them again once I get here. So, you know, I gave like half of them to Cold Bucket. I gave the other half to Dutch, you know, older guy there that doesn't really have a whole lot. You know, I passed the books out around to some people that, you know, I knew would appreciate them and they would like them and everything. And, yeah, I took my stuff over to property, boxed it up, you know, made a list of everything, signed it and whatnot, and went back to the pod, and I chilled. You know, I made a couple of phone calls, let a couple of people know that, hey, I was going, and potentially it might be a couple of days, you know, if between hearing from me and so on and so forth. Just made it through that day. Somewhat went to sleep. Like, I really struggled to sleep that night. I think I got maybe total of 2.5 hours of sleep, and I kept waking up, drifting off, waking back up, and finally around 3:30 the COs came around and popped my door and like, look, get dressed, they're coming over to get you here in a little while. I'm like, all right. And I got up, made me a quick cup of cold coffee, and chugged that down, ate 2 packs of oatmeal real fast, brushed my teeth, cleaned my cell up, my neighbor wanted my blankets, so I gave him my blankets, folded them up, put them in front of his door and whatnot, and I went out and jumped on the kiosk and I sent my wife a quick email, hey babe, love you, they just packed up, they just told me to go, and so on and so forth, and sat there in the pod for maybe a few minutes waiting on them, and then they popped the doors after the count cleared, and I walked over, you know, met the transportation officers. I had to go in a little back room in the back of property. I had to strip down, you know, I had to squat and cough, I had to lift my penis and my balls and my underarms, run my fingers through my beard and show them the bottom of my feet and all that stuff, so, you know, then make sure I didn't have any type of drugs, a cell phone, weapons, or, you know, anything I could potentially use to escape or whatnot, and took my clothes, threw them over in a clothes bin, and then gave me some new clothes back, a jumpsuit, a pair of really cheap shoes, put me in the shackles and handcuffs, put the waist chain on me, you know, cinched me down and everything. We had to wait for a couple of other people. And, yeah, we went out, jumped in the back of the damn van. The one that's got no windows is just solid metal. Like, it actually has, like, a metal cage built inside the back of the van. That kind of sucked. For the first time in my life, I actually got a car sick. I actually had to throw up. So thankfully, they'd given us little small trash bags that I could throw up in. I think the reason why that is, though, is because I'd learned my lesson when I left Wallens Ridge to come to Keene Mountain, because it had took me months to get my umbilical hernia belt. So instead of packing it up or whatnot, I actually just put it on and wore it. And I guess I'd had it too tight, and that kind of, because I've never been car sick ever. So we went and drove to Marian, went to the bullpen there. We had to wait about 40 minutes for everybody to get there. Then they pulled in and, you know, closed this, which is, the bullpen is nothing more than just a fenced-in area topped with razor wire, and you got COs that walk around the outside with shotguns in case you try to escape. So they pull us off the van, you know, and they ask you, what's your name, state number, where you're going. And I told them, you know, I'm going to Buckingham. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all the ones who should be telling me where I'm going. I mean, y'all are behind the f***ing wheel after all. You know, I mean, I really genuinely have a problem with stupid people. I don't mind ignorance. I don't even mind lazy. But when you're too stupid to know where the hell I'm being transferred to, like, that's a problem, people. But anyway, it is what it is. So I went, got on the appropriate bus, had a bunch of people. I mean, there was a bunch of people. And this is they really, the inmates that I was in the back of the van with, in the back of the bus with, like, I was on one van and two buses, two different buses between the transfers and it Nottoway bullpen and all that stuff before I actually made it here to Buckingham. And I am not exaggerating. I'm not making this up. Literally, every person except for me, I was literally the only person that did not speak about drugs. Everybody else, the whole conversations I had to listen to for 14 hours. It took me 14 hours to get from King Mountain to Buckingham. And every conversation I heard was about guys getting high. Can't wait to get high. Can't wait to snort some ice up my nose. Can't wait to smoke some paper. Can't wait to find some meth. You know, the Virginia Department of Corrections could really do a public service by allowing me to just walk around and just beat this out of junkies until they learn their lesson. Because I guarantee you, after the 5th or 6th ass whooping I lay on them, they're going to stop getting high. It is... I sat on that bus, and on the big bus, the Greyhound bus, you've got these hard plastic seats, and you've got these little small round windows up at the top. And if you're ever in Virginia and you see a solid white bus with little tiny windows up top that's tinted out, and it's got like a little small metal grate on it, it's actually kind of hard to notice the metal grate. That right there is a Virginia Department of Corrections transportation bus. So I'm sitting up just looking out the window, and I'm about 2 inches too short from being able to sit comfortably and look at it. So I have to sit up with my core engaged the whole time, and I'm just looking out the window, looking at trees and houses and people going about their business and, you know, everything else that you see driving down the roads. And I was depressed and sad the whole way down here. I thought I would have been excited. I thought I would have been asking questions. Yo, man, where are you from? You know, just passing the time. I didn't do that. I did my absolute best to not speak a single word. There was a few people that asked, hey, man, where are you going? I'm going to Buckingham. Oh, man, damn, bro, you going to get high as a motherfucker there. I heard the place off the chain. Bro, I don't get high, man. I'm straight edge. Nah, man, but you going to get high there, bro. Hey, look, man, what the did I just tell you, man? I'm not some weak-ass mind little kid like you. Don't speak to me no more. Hey. I'm telling you, they really, really piss me off. Not everybody gets high. Not everybody feels the need to get high. You know, I've learned to control my emotions. Yeah, I'm not perfect, but I've learned to be in control. I've learned where true answers are. They're not at the end of some pipe or joint or bottom of a bottle or whatever it is that you do. Like, no, I'm a hell of a lot stronger than that. I don't need to throw myself into weakness. I do not have a weak mind. But I sat there and it just, you know, obviously I can't tune them out because they're the whole bus. You had like, I think you had close to around 30 people on the bus from Marian to Nottoway. 29 talked about drugs. 29 out of 30 people were getting high, were junkies. What are the odds of that? So what should have been one of the best days of my life was one of the most miserable days of my life. Because I didn't even waste my time trying to conversate with them. I didn't waste my time trying to talk to them. I mean, you had dudes were literally bouncing up and down in their seat like little kids going to Disneyland because they're going to a new prison where nobody knows them and they can run up another debt and get high for free, because that's all most of them were going to do. They were going to go in and pretend like they got money. Yeah, man, I can cash app you this, man. I can do this, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm just waiting for my stuff to come. Well, I got you. And they were going to just go from pod to pod to pod until they couldn't go anywhere else. And then they're going to go hide in the hole sober until they get transferred to another prison because they got too many enemies on the yard and they're going to get killed if they ever step foot out of sight. Anyway, so long ass day. It's hot. It's miserable. I'm unfortunately breathing in diesel fumes the whole way down because that Eastern Region bus, they've got a leak, an exhaust leak or something in there. Because I woke up the next morning with CO2 poisoning. My head was splitting wide open. It's like somebody took a damn shake weight, duct taped it to an axe, turned it on, and then buried the axe head in my head and just let it. I mean, it was just excruciatingly painful. I threw up I don't know how many times. And I'm not talking about like little, I'm talking like just like turn your stomach inside out throwing up. I was sick as a dog. Well, I wonder where that expression comes from. Anyway, I get here to Buckingham, and it's, you know, it's exactly how I remember because I was here back in 2000. You know, it's the exact,
you have 1 minute remaining.
It's the exact same layout. It's just more fences, a little bit more security and whatnot. And, man, I am so glad to be here. I am telling you, I am so glad to be here. This place is, as far as prison goes, it wasn't this sweet back in 2000. Like, it's so sweet right now, but I'll save that for another episode. Look, I will leave you with this. If you do drink, if you do get high, and it is a problem, people, get some help. Don't wind up like these fucking junkies in here. You're better than that. There's people who care, and there's people who believe in you. Fight the good fight, man. All right, that's all the time we have for now. I appreciate you listening to me more than you'll probably ever know. I just want to let you know, don't forget to check out my website, RateOnYouRandy.com. And for those of you who want to hear more, or you want to listen to the episodes commercial-free, or hear me and my editor discuss a little bit further into the episodes, please go to Patreon, join me, support me. You know, it's only $5 a month. And just a reminder, I have a cookbook out. You're going to eat that. You can find it on our website or Amazon Kindle or Amazon Print.
Thank you for using GTL.